with it. It looks so good. It's so hard to talk it down. And yet, with the buffs too, like the leader has become a real ability. I am hard coping right now because I still don't know if I love it. But if anyone's going to get frags and make it happen, it's got to be Giuliano.
Well, we'll have to see what these changes will bring. G2 and X10, map number 2. And for X10, this is a must-win if they want to stay in this upper bracket. And again, they're faced with a surprise.
Yeah, X10. First the Raze fade on Icebox, now the Reyna out of Giuliano.
Okay.
And look at that, Mary activating early on.
The desk wanted to see maybe a little bit more of Mary on the chamber. We're getting it nice and early.
Hey,
We're getting
it is.
some content out of her. A beautiful shot to start things off. And X10 conceding all their space in mid off of that.
And the thing is, X10 play Breeze on the attack so slowly. It doesn't matter if it's eco round, buy round, pistol round, anything. Like, they very slowly work forward. Usually you're going to find Baby TZ really testing for these late lurks, like up halls, maybe through elbow if they're over towards the B site. And those lurk timings have looked really good for Baby TZ. She finds really good openings to sort of sneak into the enemy backlines, but it can be punished through early mid-aggression. That's what we saw from Mary, and already Baby TZ spotted.
And she's causing trouble. Opens that door, pulls rotations towards A. All three players anchored here, but maybe could catch the rotation. Maybe he's actually dropping through the hatch into mid, but Mimi takes her head straight off. Maybe a bit misguided on that drop, but with the pressure coming through halls, she had no other option. Mary, another one. This time onto Muffin. X10 is just being picked to pieces. Vultures from all sides.
Yeah, Mary runs down mid, gets a kill, rotates, runs down hall, gets another. It is falling apart.
And that's Flash.
A Prime Gaming flawless to kick off Breeze, and it's Mary leading the charge.
I think thus far in this series, what I've been impressed with from G2 is Mimi and the flexibility she's showing now. A change being made off of her very, very strong Killjoy on Icebox. And now here again, she's being taken off of that role, put on the KO instead, moved away from the lurk.
Yeah, all of the agents that Mary previously been playing, Mimi has just picked that up. So, I mean, not letting the learning curve really show at all. We'll see how that progresses throughout the tournament for her, because she's playing now a variety of different agents with very different feels between the KO and the Sage. It's a new look for G2, and it's a strong look for them as well.
Mary, another shot to get things going. Maybe TZ will find something. Here's back to a 4 versus 4. Petra does trade back, though, so let's see if X10 can get anything else on damage. It is just Baby TZ with that weapon in hand.
Okay, wait, Baby TZ just waiting for that late lurk, and this is what I was going to say, like, Baby TZ, it's not necessarily always pushing, trying to take space, but you're going to see her play B window a lot, have maybe a tripwire or a camera sort of guarding that for a moment.
Polly
I don't know
is
how
in their
Polly
spawn.
is here. It's 2 versus 2, out of nowhere. X10 just seemingly everywhere on the map at the moment, and Giuliano taken down to 49.
These two players from G2 are playing a single-player game right now, completely separated from one another, but the same is true of X10. This is just ships passing through a channel together. Who will find who first? In main, sitting tucked is Glance, and Polly wants to take this space. The question is, does she commit deep enough to clear bricks?
Well, the thing is, she doesn't have Spike, so she may actually continue this push forward, right? She's trying to buy space for Baby TZ to get in. She's going to see the bear roll.
No way!
But Glance out of the peripheral grabs that one. And now 15 seconds left, Baby TZ and a Marshall in hand. Glance surely is able to shut that down. A bit dodgy for a moment, but G2 close it out.
All right, G2. Second round there, it gets a little bit dicey yet again, but they are able to convert. I think the biggest question in this composition is how the Reyna works. Because on the attacking side, I feel like it's kind of, okay, you're just subbing out the jet positions, you don't have the die, so maybe a hull split is a little bit more possible, but it's generally the same role. But here on defense, it's kind of different without having that same escape tool.
Yeah, you know, it's...
I mean, I guess she does, but you have to get the kill
She does, you gotta
first.
get the kill. That's the thing, right? And I mean, Giuliano usually able to find the kills, maybe it doesn't matter quite as much, but it does mean, I think it's a little bit harder to go for like the super aggressive mid plays. Like, Giuliano is gonna play mid doors, but it's way harder to just sprint down mid like a jet could.
Yeah, well, talk of people sprinting down mid. It is just Mary picking up that role. Second time she's done that kind of roll out with the chamber TP bottom of mid, and it doesn't look like G2 is going to be committing to that fight. Just wanted early pressure, see if they could get away with a kill, but it's not happening.
You can see, though, X10 sort of take that space, slow down, wait to see where the re-aggress is going to come. G2 have been very willing to go for these a little bit later mid pushes. You can see again Mimi challenging down elbow. But Baby TZ in classic position right here. If you've done your homework, if you watched any Breeze VODs with X10, you will know this is Baby TZ's favorite position on the map. She is always here. And I think this time Mimi a little bit more patient after running into that Marshall in the previous round, not over pushing out of elbow.
Noise being made here in main. This dog should still be spotted. Looks like G2 might actually want to flank, yeah.
Yeah, we've been able to work Mary all the way down mid, and Mimi goes for the over push again. Baby TZ camps there 9 out of 10 rounds. If she's not there, she is going to be pushing into your spawn somehow.
But Mary could cut this rotation, has 5 bullets in the headhunter, re-established on the same line, but there's a cage across. X10 have the site now. Bar one player tucked close on the site is Glance, but Muffin's aware. An entry from her. We needed her to step up for X10. She's doing so with a big frag. Still, not out of the danger zone. G2 fast on this retake. Wally's coming down. And all these angles are so difficult to clear. Muffin trying to swing. There's Polly from the other side, and Ginny is there on the trade. Only Mary. She's low, and it's only a headhunter. She'll find a second. 1 bullet. 2 players against her. The door opening. A 1v1 against Alyssa. And she's missed the shot. Now just a classic. Now barely a chance in this one. She wants a gun. She needs a gun. Make this one happen. At this point, it might just be a matter of damage. And Mary has another. She's only 16, and she's making this happen. Her first land, maybe a clutch. She needs to get this halfway, but Alyssa will swing, and she'll shut it all down.
Alyssa necessary to win the round out for X10. But my God, Mary sees a Vandal on the ground. I was like, no, I actually feel better with the Sheriff, right? After the Headhunter looks that good, is able to do that. Oh, man. What a performance, and yet some crack showing, I think, for G2, right? With Mimi again, maybe it's the bonus for her,
sure.
So going for maybe a little bit more of an aggressive push. But I think you definitely need to be aware from this default from X10.
By the way, Mary has tour de force on round 4.
Oh.
That's pretty reasonable in common,
yeah,
I would say.
That's reasonable. We would love to see that right now, especially with, again, aggressive mid-peaks for G2. They go for this all the time, although the 2 players you want sort of fighting forward didn't find that angle. It's going to be Mimi for 2! Make it a 3rd! You cannot get past her!
Absolutely not. Another Prime Gaming flawless in the hands of G2. Their 3rd round here. X10 try something a little bit faster, and they get nothing for it.
So X10, how do you switch this up? I mean, again, it's not going to be a bias. They have a little bit longer to think about things coming through for them, but they just run into the meat grinder here. It looked like the trade was almost there for Muffin. Like, the timing wasn't even like that long. It was maybe half a second, the spacing between those 2 players, which isn't that unreasonable, but Mimi, just a brick wall, unbreakable.
Look at G2, though. Might have the read on this one. 2 players towards B main, a drone tag connecting. Because I do want to just push this in. Giuliano in the corner. This is where Reyna can shine. She gets a kill. She can just pop on out, but she'll stick around for more. Second and the dismiss. Easy hold.
The back-to-back Prime Gaming flawlesses from G2. And a rare full commit onto a site from X10, I think, just sort of trying to switch up the tempo on G2, throw that one into the mix, because on rifle rounds, that is just not the MO of X10. And I think maybe for them, we could see them take a little bit more proactive of a look with Baby TZ.
Sure.
Again, she really likes to work over towards Halls, and one of the things that's been very effective for them in the past is sort of playing Baby TZ towards Halls, the rest of the team up elbow, and then by showing a lot of presence in elbow, that pulls your sort of Halls watch, that float player, usually going to be maybe a Sova on the other side, the scout player, and that gives the timing for Baby's TZ to actually push all the way towards spawn, catch out that player by Nest. I'd maybe like to see them look to go into that, especially with how aggressively G2 have been fighting for mid. I think that taking another angle, X10 have been running all through bottom mid. Let's fight through elbow, switch things up, give G2 another look.
Okay, so they will be trying to make that change. OB again in the conversation here for the side of X10. And for G2, honestly, they're just kind of chilling out. So much of this early aggression has all been predicated on Mary. She's really playing this role similarly to how that Jet would, and it's been working very well for them thus far.
And for Mary, the youngest player in the tournament at 16, her story has just been insane too, because no one expected G2, who'd been so dominant in EMEA, to drop Zaz. Legendary TAC FPS
I mean, not
player
even dropped. She
in the
just
scene.
kind of makes a decision, makes her way out of the team, and now there's these huge shoes to fill. And who do they find? A 16-year-old Bahraini girl who steps up into this team, her first competitive team in Valorant, and just gets off on the ground absolutely sprinting.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? She gets out sprinting in the, support roles, right? The Sage, the KO, playing a lot of those. Now on the chamber, and once again working down mid. But this setup...
And she does it again, by the way.
She does it again. Somehow she just finds that one more time. It does look like X10 was going for a similar setup with that elbow push, but somehow Giuliano has made this timing through shop. No one's going to be ready if Baby TZ is able to step out here and does see Giuliano there. Baby TZ might want to press out of cave.
She actually finds Mimi in that one, swinging deep into sight. She figures that if Giuliano is that far down hall, she'll be able to swing and get a kill on sight. The decision is correct. And now X10 actually looks to re-push and re-clear this space that they could have lost. Very well done by Baby TZ.
Yeah, Baby TZ finds these openings so frequently in the regional space. And, usually you look on a map like Breeze and you're like, oh, Jet, pick up the operator, go crazy. Yeah, Muffin, fantastic player in her own right. But I would sort of liken Baby TZ to a player like Nats almost, who just has that uncanny ability to find the perfect lurk timings there. Even working through a main, like, you don't really think that's a place you would lurk. But yeah, playing on her own is able to just find that kill on the player over by stairs. And now the rest of X10 ready to move into the site.
Ginny is going to pop her ult here to help with the scale, but it's too late. Giuliano gets one, gets out, and Glance anchors a double of her own. Round's already over, 16 seconds. His timer has ticked so far, and despite the early advantages, X10 get nothing.
10 seconds left.
Just all falls apart. Ginny has to call for the save on that one. Again, I think the right idea, but a solo player in bottom mid when Mary is in the server, I just don't think is the right idea. She is going to find a chance every time.
Yeah, and for X10, again, they're staring down the barrel of a very tough scoreline, 5-1. That first tactical timeout already used. So this is the moment where you need your IGL. You need Ginny to make the call. She's been here before. She's not a new player. She's not new to the scene. Before this, she was competing at the highest level in her region, in Thailand. She was one of the only female players in all of APAC competing in a mixed team, back in Counter-Strike, and also in the early days of Valorant. Now here with X10, she's the leader you need to try and build back in.
And sort of the player to lead the charge in the big upset over Alter Ego, the leader for the team. Now, the hero rifle for her, the knives on Muffin too is able to open things up in mid, but Giuliano and Mimi are not done. They're going for the reaggress. Giuliano is insane. Look at her continue the push as Mimi is there to trade everything on through. A triple for her, and that round over before it started.
G2 does not give a damn. They are not giving any respect at this point in the game, just pushing all the way through. And I want to ask you this question quick. Do you think the Reyna is something they want to play consistently in this map, or is this just like, we're playing insane today, let's get confident, let's do something crazy?
That's the thing, is like, I know that Giuliano is a fan of the Reyna, right? She does play it on the pro. She's an average Reyna enjoyer, and they also have just promised us that they are playing crazy things, right? Things that no other teams are playing. So it would not shock me if this Reyna was something that stuck around for Giuliano.
I'm liking it more and more as the game goes on. But what I've also been enjoying is Mary on this chamber. And this time it's not the rifle that often said. None of these sky flashes connect, by the way. An entire belt of utility dumped into her. But Mary still finds a shot. Only one. Baby TZ rips her head off through the wall. And back to a 4 versus 4. But still, this Viper's Pit, a thorn in the side towards main.
How do X10 deal with this? They have the positioning, perhaps try to split in, pincer down on that pit, but with the way Petra has angled herself in mid right on top of that wall, that could instantly get shut down. If these players try to rotate out from double doors, instead of just trying to use those seekers to scout out the players inside the pit. Here comes the pinch.
They only know one player
Petra!
is towards B, but Petra, she's on top of the wall.
That is
what
insane.
An angle.
That is an angle you play like in the super late post plants on your attacking side. That is not an angle you get to just punish the attackers from themselves.
They're pushing out of the pit. Mimi took a fight. It's only Glance on this site now. This round is still very much in question. Maybe trying to find her timing to push through, or maybe just biding her time to wait.
So Petra has the ult, but she's gonna have to work through mid, and Baby TZ
So
hasn't
much
moved
noise.
in the last 10 years. She has just been camped on these doors. She's heard everything from Petra. She is prepared. She will lock down those doors. Now Glance versus the world. Ginny there to secure the round.
That is the round that X10 needed. G2 try something cool there, but X10, the patience pays off this time. They don't overcommit into that Viper's Pit. They wait to gain the information. I think if this team has one asset, it's in these late rounds, not overheating, not overcommitting, being able to slow things down and make the right call.
That's very true. It's a team that sort of, we talked to one of the casters in the APAC region, Quack, who gave us a ton of information, some history here on X10 Sapphire. Said Ginny sort of thinks about the game almost like it's an RTS, right? So it's like play very slow early rounds, absorb as much information as possible, and then make really strong mid-round decisions. I think the weakness here has been that G2 are just fighting them before X10 can get all that info that they'd love. But with an early first kill, a rarity for X10 this game, they might be able to change things up.
I think this is only the second time they've been able to shut down Mary on one of these openings. And now they have a lot of options. Split towards B, that's the decision. Muffin in quick, a dash through. Spots a player towards the half wall, and Mimi could be in trouble, but the flash is there to support. Petra finds two. Polly trying to trade back. Ginny needs something here as G2 is zoned behind that wall. And now with the Viper's Pit down, this post plant's potent. Juliano's just pushing in close. She has a timing on this one. Wait a minute. Can she find it? No. Polly too aware. Just Glance now 1 versus 3. And the pit up. A dart in her face. It misses though. Is that misinformation? Did they realize? Is the comm there? Yes. Baby TZ spots her out. Holds her time. Holds the angle. But Glance finds it. 1 versus 2 now. That pit is waiting. The abyss on the other side. She's yet to find a single player in that timer. Her biggest enemy still. A Molly on the spike. And the players so far back. Glance just needs to spot the edge of one. The Viper there, a flick around, but Ginny playing the long con. She'll wrap all the way back through. Glance is aware, but she cannot find the shot. Ginny shuts down.
Glance went from being aware, just the aware emote, the smile turned upside down on that one. And Ginny is able to secure the round. She had a couple of clutch moments too, back on that icebox map. And now on Breeze, try and stay alive in the series. So necessary. I love that too, right? Catching Giuliano, trying to cancel out the plant from going down. And the round slips away at the last possible second. Very important as X10 try to build back in here, because I think they have been very successful in the past attacking on this map.
Yeah. That round a lot faster from X10, and that seems to be the decision again. Thrown straight into a main, but it's the issue with these faster plays. G2's composition has a lot of utility to slow you down, and now they have 4 players ready on this site.
Look at the high-low, right? Glance and Mimi playing on that same angle, ready, but the Viper Wall does cut it off. G2 don't really have any forward scouting, so X10 actually able to sneak 4 players out and try and push past this Viper Wall. Mimi's ready, that was not caught by the flash, and the crossfire, the lineup, it is all here. Baby TZ, the sole survivor.
Wall in her face, 1 versus 5. Something tells me this is beyond the reach of Baby TZ as G2 set up together. Giuliano, ready for the trade. He's patient for but a moment, but now just look to hound her down with his utility, not give her a chance in this one. The swing is through. That's the commitment, and that's her downfall. G2 reply.
Oh, what do you do here? G2's early aggression has just been so painful for X10. Then when it doesn't even come, you just know there's 3 players anchored down on site, ready to just shoot you down the second you try to go for a play yourself. And like, not even just the high-low there, but you also have Giuliano double doors, right? So the second you're coming through that Viper Wall, Giuliano's shooting you in the side. So it's a 90-degree, the high-low, it's just all there. And X10 really struggling to push past. You can see actually big light armor enjoyers, even with some money in the bank. Ginny and Baby TZ gonna make sure they have enough for rifles in the next.
Last round, it was just push down mid, and again, G2 go for it. This time, X10 ready to receive. I think that was a big win condition in the previous round for them. Having that fast rotation to be able to have 4 immediately on that A site. This time, X10 denied that space and the information.
The thing is, though, Giuliano is also here. And another mid-aggress. Now that X10 have fully cleared, they've bailed out of mid. This could turn into a very quick flank option. There's not actually a tripwire over in cannon, so if Giuliano is just feeling completely wild,
They're
you
holding
could just
for it,
go
though.
for this.
Polly, oh, the timing, she
turns
turns
around.
around. Giuliano has it, doesn't get greedy, falls away. B site will be lost here. A retake down for G2.
That's your Viper wall that you just lost there. Like, X10 have no coverage once they get on site. Luckily, they got through, but now Petra is stalling. It's going to be a shooting gallery here as all of G2 rotate to B.
And look at the utility that they have for this retake. Full belts on both of their initiators. That orb for glance to pop down and try and defuse. X10 haven't even gotten the spike down yet. And G2 is already pushing in. Dart for the backside, gets broken immediately. No scans. X10 need to take these spots. They need to win them. They need to try and stall out. But Petra, too quickly, a flash in a lineup. Only one. Ult is coming through, and Ginny is stuck with her bow in her hand, and Baby TZ alone now. Finds one of the spam, but the health is low. A 1v2, and Mimi ready for it. G2, 8-4.
What a pick from Giuliano, removing the Viper from play, and like you said, the utility on that retake just flawless, clearing out the little cubby outside of B main, and then fully working as a team into backside. Right there just sort of shuts down your ability to play the round, right? You can't actually play in B main, so it's all 4 players of X10 backside. Without the Viper wall, you can't play cubby. Really hard to play up near half wall as well. Very excited on top of everything else here is going into the final round of the half. It is literally a thrift store purchase for X10. Just hand-me-downs galore, light armor on 4 players. It is not pretty.
Well, let's see if they can maybe use something to make a round out of this. 2 flashes into main. Giuliano a pick. Choke it away as well. Quick dismiss, but she wants more. Giuliano has been hungry this game. She has been greedy and wants another as well. I suppose that's one of the gifts of Reyna. You get 2 dismisses, not just 1 compared to your Chamber or Jet. As long as you're killing them.
Hey, that is very true. That is very true. And, I mean, the question is, does a Reyna player ever use her ultimate?
No.
no, they just don't. It's the last round of the half. Giuliano has it. Hasn't popped it yet. We'll see if it comes through eventually.
There
but
we
here
go,
we go.
as you say it.
We are zooming down halls, opening up that door to find another way to pinch out onto site. This is an aggressive X10, and the trade is good, but there's still Mimi on site here, and you gotta pull out your gun to fight her.
Oh, she'll find one. Not quite the second, Ginny. 1 versus 2, and it will not do. 9-3 for G2.
Great way to start off the half. G2 just gave us the formula to beating X10. When X10 are on the attack, it is fight them early, deny them the ability to slow play and gain the information, and when these side hits come through, always down in numbers, the G2 anchors, and Mimi especially, on fire. Yeah.
Baby TZ still having a good half there, but the rest of the team struggling to contend with G2. We'll hear what the desk has to say about all that.
It's a 9-3 half here for G2 goes, and they nearly, I felt like we could have seen a momentum shift at one point for X10 Athena when they chained 2 rounds together towards the end.
X10 kind of almost finally took it a place that they really needed to take it. They kind of broke the momentum. They took the space that they needed way towards mid. They started putting pressure towards mid and forcing G2 to kind of take space back and make them hesitate. And they actually played it really, really well, because in that next round, they actually ended up going towards B. So here's a round that I do want to talk about, just the momentum breaker on that round 8. Alyssa actually walked out behind the Viper ult, and she kind of made a play towards mid. And so when the Viper ulted A main, Alyssa walked into site, took that space because she knew that they weren't playing on site. They were playing in that A main ult. And then after that, the entire team took mid, took the space back, put pressure. And the next round, you started seeing G2 kind of hesitating, putting pressure towards mid, trying to get the info. And off of that, X10 played it just perfectly well.
So here's the thing. In so many occasions, we have seen X10, you know, after that pause, I think that they start working the map a lot more, because Breeze is such a big map, you know, with a lot of mid space, and you have to control it. And for those 2 rounds, you know, they were putting the pressure, they were working a little bit of the map here and there, and then they go back to being, I don't know, overconfident and just this 5-woman pushes, 5-woman pushes. I hate to say this, okay, but the Sky Flash has changed. You cannot pop flash after the Viper wall, because it's not going to be as effective, and we saw it over and over again. G2 weren't even that scared to be in a rough position, because it's going to be just a second off a flash. So, you know, moving forward into what this next half is going to be, we need to talk about how Giuliano is going to be playing on that Reyna. Our casters were making fun of when do you use the ult when you're playing Reyna? Well, definitely on the defense, it has to be in a very tricky situation. Giuliano, I don't think that she's probably going to use it for the entry, but we need to compare it with who has to shut her down directly. That has to be Muffin. Both players have been kind of absent in this first half just because the rest of the team was doing the work. Baby TC on the side of X10. Beautiful things coming in from Mimi and the rest of the team on the side of G2, but moving into the next half, these two need to have a lot of attempts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw them kind of like trying to get the momentum back. Again, they kind of did the same thing on Icebox where they started shifting towards the right answer towards the end for X10, but then they kind of lost it again. And so, you know, it is a 9-3 curse. Maybe we can see them bring it back, but I'm sure that going forward, it's going to have to be a lot different of a new strat.
Yeah, G2 100% win rate on the pistol so far. We want to see if X10 can break this as I hand this back to your casters to go back into the second half. Over to you, Mimi and Ender.
A big round here for X10 Sapphire as they start off their defensive side with a double push towards mid.
Oh yeah, already. I mean, it's not even mid, it's just straight down into elbow. Now, are they ready for the Baby TZ position that Glance is currently occupying? And are they ready for this massive Halls push? There's a Cypher trip right there, but the Lear actually does catch Ginny. She might not want to re-push into this with Giuliano absolutely posted up on the angle.
Yeah, and in this composition, you don't have jet smokes to flash out of, or a flash to get your way, or excuse me, a dash to get your way onto site there. So those hall splits are made really difficult. Instead, G2 actually fall back, but Baby TC could be in a good position here, holding in mid.
Good news for those pushes, the Lear is actually way more reliable coming out of the hall doors as opposed to the KO Flash. The KO Flash, not a ton of value because there's so many angles for those A players to hide on and sort of re-swing into you. And yet, not going to be fully sending players down halls. Mary does get shut down as the Viper Wall does end up coming down, but it's a little bit late. G2 are just sort of fighting their way out of this. Alyssa not going to want a piece of that as she does get tagged up on the exchange, but very likely the plant does manage to go down here.
Maybe trying to flash through this wall, but the red click's not quite turnable.
Ooh.
Will be 2 for G2. They want to keep fighting, though. A third picked up. Maybe 2 of her own in the back lines. Polly is so low on HP. Petra just toying with her, biding her time, but wait a minute. Polly found 2 on 1 HP, and Baby TC just comes in. What just happened?
I actually have just no idea. Polly, yeah, one shot would have absolutely just taken her down. She's able to win out the round for the team. A huge round to take for X10. You absolutely love that out of Polly. If someone's going to find a moment in this defensive half, it's almost got to be Polly, one of your strong anchors for the team to shut down the late attacks. And as that whole sort of protection, she gets that first kill. And as her sight hold falls apart, she's late round coming back in to reinforce the team, swing back here, and just instantly, I mean, having to cover 2 different angles there. Very quick on the readjustment to find the second kill.
Yeah, she was a bright spot for them back on Icebox, and she is doing it again here, coming a light for that first pistol round of the second half. I suppose there's only one pistol round in the second half.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think so.
There's a pistol round of some form or another.
That's true. Every round's a pistol round for a chamber, I suppose. You could sort of convince yourself of that. Is, yeah, Baby TZ just going to farm through the wall. Ooh, we still got the setup on the site, too. Look, I'm a huge Cypher enjoyer, and Muffin is going to enjoy the tags, playing off of her teammates' utility as X10 just clean up shop on the backside.
Yeah, very nice retake here. Glance does have some mollies to hold the post, but X10's going quickly. Muffin is just styling on them. And there are some post-plant lineups here, but surely nothing will come of them. Alyssa trying to hold, smoke off, the spam not hitting. It's already gone halfway, and Alyssa's just going to take it all the way home here for G2. Or, excuse me, for X10.
Yeah, no, G2 going home after that round. Gonna have to rethink things before.
Home.
They are home. That is true. That is true. But
the sidewalk taught me at least one thing.
Yeah, it is the house of Gozen. But hey, honestly, X10 looking strong here on the start of the defensive half. I do think most players did end up surviving here, so they can't really try to go for like a half rifle and Spectres sort of deal. Baby TC, checking it out, doesn't actually have enough to even upgrade into the rifle. So it is going to be a true bonus for them. See what sort of damage they can amass for themselves, because right now G2 are going to their favorite place on Breeze, and that is right down the middle.
X10 going for a double push here. Back towards Cannon, and it is being held for. And Muffin is in the perfect position here to try and find something. Glance, though, ready for it. Swings around the corner from Baby TZ's own favorite spot. Finds some of her own. And
Juliano
that
surely
Cypher
saw the
cage,
hat!
What is going on? The player not spotted there. Juliana goes up into a Cypher cage. There's players there to support. This is falling apart again for G2.
Oh no, I swear Giuliano could have seen the hat of Baby TZ over logs right there, but then jumped straight up into the nastiest one-way.
And they have Viper's Pit now for Polly.
Viper's Pit. All of a sudden, this round is starting to come together, and G2 don't have the ability to pinch on the pit from mid, instead just holding hands here with less than 100 HP between the two of them together. Yes, they have full utility on these players, but even then, they're going to have to walk straight on forward. Mimi finds the first, though. They've got a chance.
They're both on 1 HP. Have to work their way back into this pit, and Polly has a Spectre. Spam could be so dangerous. 30 seconds left to make that heist happen, and 2 layers of security to bypass. Knife will hit. Polly just swings out of it. Pit's down. It's just Ginny. 1 versus 2. She's found the first needs. The connection onto Mimi. 1 HP. No worry for her. A 10th round to G2.
Mimi is having a game right here. Absolutely massive. Even as the round nearly slips through her fingers. Mimi at 16 and 8. On the roll swap as well. Absolutely massive for the team, and yet full credit to X10 in this round, sort of carving this one up. The combination of Polly, who, by the way, clutched up that pistol round, and Baby TZ, so strong on the attacking side. Those are the 2 players I am looking at for the remainder of this half if they are going to stand up against this G2 team.
Yeah, G2 so resilient in these rounds that look impossible. They're going to be going a little bit faster into this one, straight towards the B site. KO ult to suppress that Viper utility. X10 playing close still, maybe considering fighting through it, but there's no flash to do so. So instead, they just get spammed down by Mimi, and now a post plant with a pit.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, right? Because X10 make the decision we play off-site because there's the KO ult, and we'll full retake his 5 very quickly. But they get spammed through the wall, and it's like, now it's a 5 versus 4.
But double drone. They have both the dog and the drone to re-clear this, but Alyssa just goes in. Spam is there. Pit down. That's success for Ginny. Now a 3 versus 4. Mimi in the back lines will swing, trade it through, and Polly unable to make it happen. Another multi-kill for Petra.
Petra finds the multi-kill. Glance is able to hold the fort for a couple of kills in the pit as well there. And you don't get that anywhere else here. Look, it's many a time we've heard the G2 chants in this studio. G2 goes in a new squad that gets to do it as well, and I mean, full credit to this team. It has been a treat to watch today. So many changes over the last month and a half since the last time we saw them play, since we saw them be dethroned, and even after that loss, so many people still had very high expectations for them. And I think showing this different look today has just added a level of depth to this G2 roster that we weren't necessarily sure was there in terms of overall agent pool. They have integrated Mary in a way that's been so interesting to watch with Mimi's evolution alongside.
It has been really cool indeed. But for X10 now, this is where they have to dig deep. 11-5, their final tactical timeout will be taken here.
And I'm sort of scanning the money right now. It looks like 2,800 roughly where most players are going to be sitting, and that's before actually purchasing utility. X10 back on Icebox were in the same position. I think it was 11-4 at that point. And they said, no force, we're going to try to play for the tie. And I think that may be what you have to do here, because even in terms of ultimates, you got a Cypher ult, which, hey, if you're playing on the new patch, hey, it's pretty sweet ability. You got 2 tags now. You got to love that. But no, definitely not the same on this, on an eco. Muffin is 1 orb away from grabbing the 9s, and I think that may be the best idea for X10, but even then, you're on defense, and Breeze is a map that just does not favor the defense to grab the early orbs. There's a lot of maps you can, right? Like Icebox A-Site, maybe a good example of a place you can do that, but it is not the same. So Muffin instead has decided to go for Sheriffs, and it's 5 Sheriffs. Everyone is coming to the Wild West for X10.
We'll have to see if any robberies can happen on this one. Do we have some bandits in the server? Just a formality for G2. Muffin already has to use her dash early as she gets out of her deep position in mid. X10 is still looking to contest that space, though.
Yeah, who would win? 5 Sheriffs or 5 Samurai Warriors? Gozen. The name, I did some research. Yeah, typically refers to women samurai. Interestingly enough. Yeah, it makes sense with the G2 branding here. But swords or guns, what would you prefer? And G2 have 5 rifles, so
is this in Valorant?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if I want a sword in Valorant. Maybe more of a rifle. Juliana, what's her preference? Let's see. Seems to be the Vandal in this situation.
Seems to be the gun. Yeah. X10 a little bit scattered in the approach, sort of trying to pressure all different angles. G2 going to be able to shut this one down right here. And luckily for X10, I think it's going to be probably light armor and rifles going into the next, but so far have yet to really find an answer against the G2 attack, especially when they've been leaving these sites open.
Petra will close things out. Map and series point here for G2. Only 5 rounds to X10 as they try and make something happen. They are back on the rifles here. Seekers to work with for Alyssa, a bit of a tool for their mid-round, but I mean, right now G2 is looking unstoppable.
Yeah, they are a different beast. We sort of, and I mean, this is preparing for the potential C9 matchup later today.
Yeah.
C9, who looked very dominant. G2, everyone had been waiting for that matchup. X10 with the last chance to play spoiler here, must win 7 rounds in a row, and hey, they've got some big ultimates. Seekers, you got the knives as well on Muffin. Maybe not the big game-changing ones. Muffin already pressuring, pushing down mid. This could open up the round with such a close position. Right around the corner, finds Mary, wraps around the opposite side as well, but no. G2 carved them to pieces, and it's a 2 versus 1. Polly, the last survivor.
A fight versus Mimi. Can she find it? Yes. Tap onto the head. Now a 1 versus 1 for the game, and Glance pushing around. The angle is there, and Polly's got the clutch.
The Red Bull clutch for Polly. She does it again. The pistol round, and then here as well. Polly has been the X factor in these late rounds for X10. Even after losing the initial fight in mid, she writes the course on that one. But how many more times in a row can she do it?
Yeah, you can beckon your team into the backpack once, but you need consistency to make a comeback against a team like G2.
You definitely do. Now, that being said, sort of examining that round as a whole, it was over so quickly. X10 didn't really have to invest anything. So now Ginny has actually been able to get the Hunter's Fury online. 2 Bulldogs on X10, so not perfect for them, but their solution here has just been unlock Muffin. Put her in a position to find these early pushes, but she hasn't had the most success working down tunnel, or elbow. Excuse me, especially against Mimi, who has just been posted up here so many a time. Muffin looking for the reaggress, but not going to challenge it again.
Oh, Glance has worked her way up halls. Ginny holding for this one. She's actually considering.
Oh no, look at this!
There, and Muffin finds a timing behind this tripwire, though. Glance is trapped. This isn't a chamber. You cannot smoke that piece of information off. Giuliano finds one, and now Glance finds her opportunity. Ginny, though, quick on the reaction.
So often on Breeze, your Sova float is going to be the one to sort of lock down and stop mid from exploding, right? Because if you lose your nest player, you lose the ability to rotate on this map. You lose your spawn, you're all of a sudden concerned, are they going to be pinching me from back bridge, from back arches, over towards the B site? Everything can fall apart. So Ginny showing up at the final hour, so critical for her team holding on here. And now rotating to assist Baby TZ as this BXQ is sure to come in.
Or will fall. And Baby TZ has no utility for this one. Hunter's Fury shut down. A one-way popped. It's something to play off of. Ginny takes down Giuliano. Baby TZ there as well. It's only Mimi. Try and make this one happen, and it's looking undoable. Already a bit wounded, but a kill found. 1 versus 3. The player's isolated on site. Time knows her biggest issue, and interfaces Baby TZ, but now she has the plants. 1 versus 2. Can Mimi make it happen? A flash still up. She'll swing around the corner and isolate a duel. But Alyssa turns the flash, finds the kill, and again, keeps her squad alive.
X10 keeping the hope here. For all the fans maybe watching, getting a little bit late at night. But X10 making it happen at the final hour. I mean, just a shock that they even made it to this tournament for many, with Alter Ego being so dominant in the region for so long. They found the upset. Now a chance to really get things going here up against G2. That was a really solid round for them, for Ginny finding the kill in halls. And the site anchoring from Baby TZ and Polly on the opposite side has been fantastic. The one-ways have just been so frustrating for G2 to deal with, and now they're holding hands over on their B main.
Let's play.
G2, though, I don't think that's supposed to go there.
No, that's a lineup. You just haven't
Really?
seen it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you learn something new every
Well,
day.
yeah, because you pick it up and then you throw it actually to the correct position is the idea. And the other team is like, I just hear this orb rattling
That's
around.
pretty
What's
smart.
going on? Look at this, though. Alyssa's traded out by Mimi as G2 try to speed things up over onto the A site.
Oh, Op is here. Muffin has a dash activated, but Mimi for another 3 kills. She's doing everything right now for G2, and they should be able to get this plant down on A. Rotations so far behind out of X10.
Oh, big problems here. Baby TZ, light armor, and a Bulldog, too. You have no flashes or any initiating utility to get you back onto the site. X10 guessed wrong with those side anchors. Mimi's been opening them up with a 3K already in the round. And a chance to swing back into the team. Mary finds 1, Mary finds 2. G2 take the series.
This is their home. Back on land. G2 goes in. Look incredible.